on, everybody? Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to the Productive Agent Podcast. My name is Tony Ruiz. I am the founder and host of the Productive Agent Podcast and Facebook group. This week's episode is entitled What Ninja Selling Taught Me, Part 3. A few weeks ago, we recorded Part 1 entitled Personal Mastery. And a few weeks after that, we recorded Part 2 entitled Stop Selling, Start Solving. Today's Part 3 is entitled Ninja Business Strategy, and we're going to talk about the nuts and bolts of what you should be doing on a daily and weekly trajectory to build your business and make it what you want. The book is Ninja Selling by Larry Kendall. If you don't have a copy of it already, go out and buy it. Go download it. You will not regret it. This will not cover everything in the book. We just simply don't have all the time in the world to cover every single step of it. You will not be disappointed. Go buy it, learn, and share. Let's get started. I want to start off with this quote from National Association of Realtors. It's also Ninja Selling, but they talk about for every 100 people that you know, there are 15 transactions a year. So as we roll into 2023 here in a couple of weeks, all right, we're going to think about, okay, for every 100 people we know, there's 15 real estate transactions that are going to take place. Obviously, if you know 200 people, you're talking about 30 transactions, right? Of course, that's the average, but we want to make sure that we're capturing as many of those, if not all of those. So it really starts with having a database and staying in flow with them. If you don't have a database, if you don't have a great connection with how many people you know, a couple ways to think about that and start is just pull up your phone right now and start going through your contacts. Start scrolling through your contacts and write down the people that you know or that they know you and they live in your area and can possibly do a real estate transaction. All right, start jotting that down, and then once you run out of those people, go to your Facebook page. Go through your friends list, and I guarantee you're going to easily have over 100, if not over 200 people or more that you're going to be able to start staying in flow with. If you are new to the area, maybe you don't know that many people that live close to you that can do real estate business with you. Here's 5 ways that they talk about that you can find and meet people. Number 1, meetings, events, and parties. So right now we're in the holiday spirits, lots of parties going around. Great opportunity to get out there and socialize, attend HOA meetings, attend school meetings, attend neighborhood events, and meet people. All right, get to know them. They'll get to know you, and work the room. Number 2 is work the room and introduce yourself. All right, make sure that you are making it a point to go introduce yourself and meet new people and not just hang out with the same old people. All right, you have to be a social butterfly, even if that's a little bit out of your comfort zone in this business. You cannot be hiding in the corner. You cannot be a secret agent, else your business is going to suffer. You need to let them know who you are, what you do, etc., and you're going to see your business take off. Hang out at the name tag table if you're doing, maybe you're doing a Chamber of Commerce event or some event like that, social event. Get to know these people, hang out at the bar. Everybody's going to grab a drink, say hi, introduce yourself, etc. Another great way, and this is the way that I started my business, is hosting open houses. In my first year, I met over 170 brand new people that I've never met before and added them to my database, and I've still closed deals to this day, 4 years later, from those same people that I met at open houses. So I think it's a great way to meet new people and add them to your database. Another great way, again, and whenever I talked about it, is Facebook, all right? I love when I'm scrolling and it comes up and it says people you may know. And of course, the algorithm is so damn smart that it's like, hey, you met this person and this person knows that person and you may know this people. So go through there and add those people, especially if you had some kind of even minor interaction with them, go and add them. And then all of a sudden they're seeing your real estate stuff on your Facebook. And now there's a connection there to start a conversation. So once you have your list, again, I believe that everybody's going to have a list of at least 100 people, if not more. Now you have to stay in connection with them. You have to stay top of mind. Ninja Selling calls it they call it flow. So what is flow? It's interaction, bottom line, and the frequency of interaction. What are different types of interaction? They list this: face-to-face interaction, phone calls, emails, text messages, snail mail, and social media, obviously, with direct messaging. So those are the types of flow that they list, and I'm sure we can come up with more than that. But those are ways to stay in contact with people, stay top of mind, stay in front of them for when they have real estate needs. We are the person that they think of. Think about this. There's so many realtors out there, and pretty much all of the people that you know probably know other realtors. In fact, Ninja Selling says the people that you know 12 realtors on average, all right? But they will choose the one that is in flow with them. And I can attest to this. One of my buyers a couple years ago, we went to college together. We know several people that are in the real estate business. And because I was in flow with him, because I, called him up just to see how he was doing, saw something on Facebook, checked in with him. A couple months later, all of a sudden, he gives me a call and says, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about buying a house." That probably wouldn't have happened if I didn't reach out and just leave a comment or check in with him, whatever it was. But I was in flow with him, and all of a sudden, instead of using the other people that we know in our circle, he reached out to me because I was the one in flow with him. So make sure that you are staying in flow with your people so that they don't choose somebody else for their real estate transaction. Types of flow. Let's get a little bit more specific and detail on this. They talk about two types of flow, and one is auto flow and the other is live flow. Auto flow is stuff that you set and forget about it. Sometimes it's just an email. Maybe it's a combination of mail. I know I adopted a weekly email that goes out to my clients. They say that you should do it 3 per month or once per week. So I have my weekly email that I started up. I wouldn't say that it's gotten me a ton of business, but it's gotten me a ton of eyes. I consistently get about 40% of my people opening it up, seeing it. I use MailChimp. We'll talk about that some other time. But it's a great source of just a weekly pop-up of my name popping up with Real Estate Connected, with different articles about real estate, with just sold, just listed, etc. So they see me every single week with that information coming out. Other good stuff to send with this auto flow are newsletters, market updates, and others. As far as live flow goes, this is interactions, pretty much weekly interactions, all the interactions that we talked about previously. This is a face-to-face. These are phone calls. These are text messages, direct messages, all those different types of interactions. They count it, and they say that you should have 50 live interactions, and you should count any interaction that you ask a forward question. So if you're checking in with a friend, you haven't talked to him in a while, asking him about how his job's going, asking him about how the family's doing, asking him about his plans for the holidays, all of those interactions, even though you didn't talk about real estate, count towards your 50 interactions. They encourage you to do 50 interactions per week. Boils down Monday through Friday. You're talking about 10 people of some type of interaction per day. Pretty reasonable if you think about it. Make sure that you're not just talking to them and feeding them information that you have heard about the real estate market or whatever. You're really just checking in and asking them how they're doing. Asking about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And that counts. And then you're listening for any changes that might be going on in their life that might need some help with real estate. And of course, you're never forcing it. You let it come naturally. And honestly, you just come across as a caring person. And then, if something comes up and they're in a position to buy or sell or know somebody that's buying and selling, you're the one that is top of mind. There is a rank of flow according to Ninja Selling. Of course, you want to do a combination of these things. You don't want to just do one of them. But the best flow is, of course, face-to-face. Right? When you are interacting face-to-face, you pick up on nonverbal communication, you pick up on the energy of the person, etc. So that is going to be the most powerful rank of the flow. Second would be voice to voice. So picking up the phone and calling, you can hear, the vibe of that person and their voice and pick up on those types of things. Third would be text message. Fourth is mail, personal mail. And fifth would be email or social media. And sixth would be advertising of some sort. There's 4 criteria for best flow. Number 1 would be valuable, right? We always want to come across with some kind of value, where either they're solving problems or making them feel good. Number 2 would be customized. So we're doing custom reports for their neighborhood or their house. A third would be personalized. So very similar to customized, but adding a personal note in there with, say, a market update, giving them a little handwritten note is even more powerful. And then the fourth criteria for best flow is combination of art and science. That's a little vague, but we're going to go into real quick some examples of what ninja selling considers art and science. On the art side of things, they talk about personal notes, relative news articles, sending these types of things. Number 2 would be giveaways or tickets, things that are going on in the community, posting about things to do this weekend with the family, etc. Number 3 on the art side would be coupons, gift certificates. 4 would be happy birthdays, anniversaries, cards. And then number 5 would be invitations to events. So maybe you're hosting an event and you're going to be inviting those people to that event. On the science side of things, these are a little bit more statistical. So this is like locator maps of activities that are going on in the community around us. Number 2 would be neighborhood statistics, right? What has sold recently, numbers, newsletters about the market in general, how to invest brochures, financing and refinancing info. Maybe you connect with a local lender that provides this type of information. And believe it or not, a lot of people that are not in this business just simply don't know these types of things that are going on right now. For example, the 3-2-1 buy down or the 2-1 buy down, or what is going on with interest rates, etc. So inform them of what's going on. Another one would be like just listed, just sold. Your annual real estate reviews is a great thing to give away. And classes and events that are coming up, maybe real estate related or not. The next thing I want to talk about is really important, and this really gets us down to the nuts and bolts of what we should be doing on a daily and weekly basis that's going to generate us great business. They talk about daily routine. This is what your daily routine should kind of look like. Number 1, you got to show up for work, right? If you're getting paid good money, you have to show up to work Monday through Friday and clock in and do the work and not just spin your wheels and waste time. Number 2, you want to work on your business in the morning and work in your business in the afternoon. Afternoons are for showings and appointments. Mornings are for running your flow systems and generating the business, having the conversations, sending the text messages, sending the emails, whatever it is. The morning time is the most important time. When you do great morning work, your afternoon is going to be booked with appointments and showings, and that's going to generate the business that you want. They talk about PI time, and PI time, PI is an acronym that stands for performance, individual, and everything else. All right, performance would be, think about the time that you spend with you, the customer, and the contract. So examples are going on listing appointments, presenting a contract, showing houses, or negotiating a contract. All those things, you are the professional in the situation, and you have to spend time with the customer and the contract and make sure that things get done the right way. I stands for individual, and that's really talking about your flow time, right? So that's, you are in the office, making your calls, doing your real estate reviews, doing your live interactions, writing your personal notes, and running your auto flow systems. So that's doing the work and generating the business. E stands for everything else. So pretty much, if I didn't list anything that you're doing, that stuff that you're doing can probably be handed off to somebody else, and they can take care of it. Think of the things that, like social media or other stuff like that, that doesn't require a real estate license. that's everything else, and that should be passed off, or at least not your focus. Your focus is on the individual time and the performance time. If you want to increase the amount of money you're making, you have to increase your I time. When you increase your I time, you increase your P time, which increases your income. All right, so focus on that. And if you're going, why is my business lacking? It's probably lacking because you're not putting in the time of your flow systems. So get back to the basics. Another thing I want to talk about, and this is huge, this kind of really encompasses the entire book, is Ninja 9 is what they refer to it. It's 5 daily activities and 4 weekly activities. And we're going to get into that here. Number 1 is real simple. Every day you should get up and give thanks. All right, put yourself in an attitude of gratitude. All right, and making sure that your head is focused and positive. All right, the world can beat us up and get us in a dark place, but we want to make sure that we're giving thanks and we're coming across with a very positive energy. The energy that we give out is the energy that we will receive. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on that. Get up and give thanks for the day. Number 2 is show up and stay on agenda. All right, get rid of distractions. Know that, hey, when I start work at 9 a.m., I'm going to work until 12 p.m. And I'm going to do this at 10 a.m. I'm going to do that at 11 a.m. and block it out. I love to plan my work and work my plan. All right, so make sure that you stay on agenda, you show up. Number 3 is to write 2 personal notes a day. When I commit to this, it blows me away how powerful this can be. Sometimes I'm like, oh, who I'm going to write to? Go back to your database, go back to that list that we talked about from the get-go, and write a personal note. And some things to think about are thank you cards, congratulation cards, I was just thinking about you cards, happy birthday cards, and happy anniversary cards. So those are the types of things, and I'm sure you can come up with even more of that. But those are all things that make people feel good, right? And that's one of the things of creating value. So those are super important, and do that every single day. Number 4, this is another daily activity, is focus on your hot list. The hot list are the clients that are going to do something within the next 90 days. These are the people that are probably set up on searches, looking for houses. You're showing them houses on a weekly basis. They're talking about prepping their house for sale. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of those people and updating them with whatever they need. You also want to think about these people as like, how can we get them one step closer to writing a contract? What are there houses that we've missed that I can show them? So we're trying to move them along in the chain to get them closer to a closing. Number 5 is we're going to focus on our warm list. All right, and there's a long list of things here that you want to ask yourself. The warm list is described as it should be about 20% of your database. So whatever your database is, let's say it's 200. Let's see if I could do quick math. 20% of that would be about 40 people on your warm list. All right, so you want to ask these questions as you're looking at your database and going, who could possibly be on the warm list? These are a quick rundown of some questions you want to ask yourself on every single member of your database. Number 1, have had an increase in family size in the past year. 2, have children aged 10 and under. 3, have teenage children. 4, have children who have left home recently. 5, are living below or above their means. 6, have lived in their same home 7 years or more. 7, have had their employer company expand in the past year. 8, have had their employer company downsize in the past year. 9, have a commute of 1 hour or more. 10, have received a substantial inheritance. 11, own a building lot. 12, are getting married or are recently married. 13, are getting divorced or are recently divorced. 14, are getting divorced or remarried. 15, have a dream for investment property. 16, have a dream to live in a particular place or area. So you kind of go down every single person on your list and you ask these questions, and the more of these that they have, the more likely they are to possibly be making a move soon. So start adding those lists, create those lists, have the hot, warm list going. It was a game changer for me once I started doing that. So make sure that you're thinking about that. Let's get into the weekly habits. Talking about the Ninja 9 here still. Number 6 is you should do these things 6 through 9 every single week. Number 6 is focus on your customer service calls. These are pretty simple, right? If you have a customer that's under contract right now, you're giving them weekly updates, maybe even talking to them 2, 3, 4 times a week, just kind of guiding them along the process. That's pretty easy to do, and most of us do that pretty well. Number 7, you're going to schedule 2 live real estate reviews a week. I do this a little bit differently, so I'll talk about that. What I do is I go down my database list and I have their address, and I do a market report and a CMA for their house. They didn't ask me for it. I'm just providing a service. So what I do is I write it all up. I tell them how the value of their home. I write this little email that says, hey, I just want to provide this information to you, kind of like your annual checkup at a doctor. All right. I send it to them in an email, follow it up immediately with a text message. Hey, Tony, I just sent you an email. Take a look at it. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you're doing well. Have a great day. Something simple. But if you're doing this consistently, the last house I sold about a month ago was the exact same thing. I gave her a market report, did the same thing like this, and all of a sudden she talked about wanting to buy or sell her house, right? Number 8 is 50 live interviews weekly. So again, going back to those live interviews, if you ask a forward question, it counts. You're just checking in with your people and staying in contact with them. And number 9, they talk about is update your database and make sure that it's all current. Focus on these focus on daily productive activities and weekly productive activities, and the production will take care of itself. So making sure that you're focusing on that, those 9 will take care of your business for you. The last thing I want to talk about is 8 calls that create value. These are opportunities that you can reach out to your customers today and kind of rekindle that relationship if it's gone stale a little bit. Number 1, update your current customers. Obviously, you want to make sure that everything's going well. Are they set up for their move? Are they set up for the sale of the house? All those things. Do they need help with anything? Number 2 is recently closed customers. Just because we closed them a couple weeks ago, they might need something might have come up. Check in with them, make sure that they're doing all right. Number 3, referral sources. The people that have sent you business, check in with them, thank them for sending you business, and just make sure that they're doing well and tell them how much you appreciate them. Number 4, home anniversaries, weddings, and birthdays. All right, so those are great opportunities. You should know those dates for every single person in your database. Number 5 is your 8 and 8 system, which is talked about in the book. We did not go over it in these podcasts, but go buy the book and read up on the 8 and 8 system. Another one is tickets and giveaways. All right, if you have tickets that you can attend the game, but you want to give them away to a friend or just any type of giveaway. Another one, number 7, would be annual real estate reviews, which we've talked about. And number 8 are thank you, congratulations, and thinking of you. So you just want to stay in flow with them. All right, so that's all the information that I want to cover today. I went a little bit long, but I really appreciate you sticking through the whole show and taking that in. I hope you enjoyed the content. Like I said, there's so much more in the book. I highly encourage you to go buy it. This does not replace the book at all, but just gives you a little bit of insight of what I took away from Ninja Selling by Larry Kendall. So go buy it and check it out. If you like the show, guys, I really appreciate if you leave us a review and drop us a rating. It really helps us grow. Please send us a request to join our private Facebook group at The Productive Agent. You could also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All of the links are going to be in the show notes, so check that out. Please help spread the news of this pretty new podcast and share the show and help us grow. I really appreciate you joining us today. Now let's get out there and go produce.